What is up, Realmers? How's it going? I have a bit of a different video here today. So this video is actually directed towards Deca, the people in charge of Realm of the Mad God. So let me be real with you for a moment, Deca, and please listen closely because this video is about to help your company in ways you may have never realized possible. Only if you take what I'm saying about the game Realm of the Mad God seriously. So first, I'm going to go ahead and say a little bit about why this video was sparked. So you're kind of in the loop, you know why I'm making this video in the first place. So we're going to talk about the White Snake Invasion event launch and then its patch. So basically, like, before the launch, right, there were the most people I've ever seen in Realm. There was there was 3 whole servers that were full, and then a bunch of other servers were crowded. It was insane. And you know, it was easy exalts, it was great fame, and I felt like it gave new players a chance to finally just catch up to like other people who have spent like 3,000 hours in Realm. You know, it's like, wow, you're able to save like, now this is an over exaggeration here, but you were able to save like hundreds of hours, gameplay, like game time, hundreds of hours saved from this. However, you know, this is kind of where some controversy comes in, because then on the other end of the spectrum, the company is like, oh shoot, all that potential playtime is now being lost. And what resulted, and now I'm not saying that's true or that's how they saw it, but that's the vibe it gave off because of how it was done and everything. Like, I don't know, like that was the first time I've ever seen a 99 out of 99 queue just to get into a server. It was insane. Everyone was happy. But, you know, once they patched it, which basically they nerfed the living crud out of the event to where you couldn't face this boss for like 3 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever, right? Let's just say 5. You couldn't face this one boss for 5 minutes. And then, you know, like, not get 2 exaltations. You were getting 2 constantly every single time. This was like, wow, you know, like I saw so many players, and I'm not saying I said this, I saw this in game, players saying, wow, and I thought Deca was greedy, like straight up. And it's like, dang, you know, that's saying something about your game. People are enjoying it, people are returning, people are playing it. But after they patched it and they nerfed mainly the Snake Invasion 3, that's like, I guess, like the biggest nerf that people are upset about. There's green servers. All servers, if you're looking at them, were green. The only one crowded was US East. That was it. US East was crowded, but I hopped on there, and even then, people were just like, this game is shit again. Oh, this sucks. Oh, I'm not having fun. There's no point. Back to the Exalt dungeons we go. You know, it's like, dang, you give it to your players and you rip it away. You know, this event is temporary. This is Year of the Snake. So that also speaks onto your character, Deca, because it's a notion of less playtime and less money becomes, you know, prominent or a possibility of being earned. It's like, I'm trying to defend you, Deca, as best as I can when I'm in game, and people are saying that y'all are greedy. You know, I'm not saying this was the best move, but I'm also, like, I guess not taking a negative turn to it. As a matter of fact, like, I seriously hope that, you know, what I end up saying in here is taken 100% seriously. What was that? No, I can't do that. Anyway, so I yeah, no, I'm not planting no seeds anywhere, buddy. Quit asking me to plant some seed. Sorry, anyways, back to the video. Sorry about that. With the addressal of a clearly negative resulting decision on the company's part, whether it was for greed or just a bad call, it seems like a bad decision. I'm not really sure if I said that I think it was a bad decision, but anyways, I believe it's time for Deca to start to, maybe take some notes now. So please, Deca employees and trainees, in case this is part of the training regimen, I'll give you 2 minutes to grab a notebook and pen or a laptop to open Notepad. Trust me, you're going to want to take notes here. Yep, just we're going to give Deca some time. Give him 2 minutes. Dos minutos. Toast, 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 toast. That was a little messy. About like 50 seconds remaining. Okay, about 30 seconds. 30 seconds left. Yeah. Grab it. Grab it. Yum. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so that's 2 minutes. Okie dokie. So, here's some things to consider and discuss with your team at the Deca layer. First of all, the idea of a auction house. Given the current means of trading, I see room for growth. The only 2 ways to actively trade items earned in Realm are either standing in a populated server's nexus and spamming the general chat with your deal as you wait for another Realmer to come up to you or / tell you to complete the trade. Or the second option is a not too user-friendly means of excruciatingly logging into Realmi. It's a bit of a process. Then you have to go to the trade offers tab, going through the whole section, and hope that there's someone out there who also uses Realmi and who's also active in the current moment, so you can make the deal then and there. Growth is what this screams. An opportunity to provide another reason to players to play the game and have better access to resources, as well as create a whole new boom in the Realm economy. Inherently, bringing players closer together. I don't know, it just sounds like nothing but benefits to me. The next one we got is the queue. Oh my god. Okay, so in my personal opinion, one of the biggest issues with this game, it's just how many lines you have to wait in. Because then you wait in the line, you connect to your server, you're waiting to actually play the game. So yeah, I mean, like if the server's too crowded, you have to wait. Then you have to wait in a queue to enter a realm. Now, the obvious counter argument here is just join another server that's in the green and / or join a realm that has less realmers to skip the queue. The debunking factor to that ideology is the fact that it would mean less efficient, like being less efficient with your time in whichever endeavor you're striving for, given it's not many or very few realmers likely to help you with your goal if you skip the waiting process. Like, it could also mean the difference between 120 fame that session and 800 fame that session. That's why the queues are seen as like well, I guess I got to do this if I want to achieve way more than I would not waiting. So this is the mindset of a lot of avid players of the game, including myself. So whenever there's a problem present within your game that a vast majority of your player base is complaining about, whether there's a less efficient way around it or not, you should take the effort to fix the issue, because the game is defining you as a company, as developers, and as programmers. Now, I'm not saying take every single issue to heart, but when over 80% of realmers have complained about the queues at one point or another, then I think at that point it's time to address it. People could ask, how would it be fixed? So I made up a proposition for you, Deca, to solve this issue. You can leave the normal queues in the game, such as the queue to enter the server along with the realm if they're too crowded, but add another queue instead, right? So it's kind of weird. You're like, why are we trying to take away queues by adding another one? Well, you add another one that players will be booted from the server and added to if they've been AFK, which means away from keyboard, or idling for a given period of time. So this queue, or we could even call it area, will be separate from the queue to enter servers. Time and time again, I've entered a server and seen countless realmers just sitting idle. I'd clear a whole realm, come back, and they're still there. And they're just taking up a sweet spot someone who's actually trying to actively play the game could have had. So after the roamer who's been AFK for, let's say, like 10 minutes has been idling there for 10 minutes, they'll be booted from the server and shown another screen that says something along the lines of, you have been placed in the AFK queue or idling queue or whatever. You get the drift. And you'd see your number alongside how many people are there in that AFK or idling queue with you. There would also be 3 options shown on the screen. Reconnect, which would place them in a special queue or into the server again, change server, and exit game. This would not only give the roamer who came back to find they're in the idle queue 3 options to choose from, but the convenience of all 3 paths in one screen. I feel this will help keep the servers from being congested with AFK/idling players and leave room for active players, and may even possibly eliminate the whole queuing into the server dilemma. I mean, maybe not into the realm itself, like the realms in themselves, but the server itself, yeah, it's one less line to wait in, possibly. The next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to click right here. Oh, it looks like the realm's about to close. Uh-oh. Here, just to be safe, I'm going to Nexus really quick. All right, there we go. So next thing on the list is spawn rates. So consider spawn rate when making event gods or event NPCs to better allow opportunity for all players to experience it. It sucks going into a realm at 60% to find out I can't even partake in the event boss. There's nothing wrong with spoiling your players to better access the game and all of its features. You know what? I'll even say that one more time because that's extremely important to take into account and consideration. There's nothing wrong with spoiling your players to better access the game and all its features. I understand making holiday events have limited availability, but making like a bunch of take this chance to get it because it's never coming back will do 3 things for your company. It will make you money. However, it'll make less players actually have the skins or items that came and went forever, never able to have the chance to obtain it again, making a huge count of what can be considered empty skins, where like one realmer who hasn't logged in for 3 years has. So, you know, it's like allowing players to earn items that were incorporated in the game at any point at one given time or another will also keep players happier and around for longer. So now you won't have to make business moves based around keeping players playing. Exalts. Anyways, sorry for the cough. Next we have there's this visual rogue bug that's been going on for quite some time. Generally and commonly referred to as the server side shot visual bug. This is when you are on the rogue class and when you use the cloak ability, everything's fine. However, if you start to shoot upwards, the rogue avatar will turn directly towards the player for roughly half a second. And it will also occur when you shoot either left or right. So they kind of like, imagine I'm turned around and I'm firing it and I'm just like, peekaboo, 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 peekaboo. It's kind of like that. So it's like a visual strain for some people. So that's something else that's going on. While I have your attention, sorry, just wanted to squeeze that in there. Just, you know, hey, taking opportunity here. All right, now when it comes to creating sprites, this is an issue, believe it or not, a lot of people have a problem with. So respiting one set and leaving the rest untouched, for example, like the basis set, isn't efficient and gives off a certain character the players can't help but see. If you are focusing time to create sprites, you might as well better prepare for a more efficient workflow and plan for a broader selection and consider the entire collection for review of an update. With a great team, this can be achieved in a little over an hour, tops. Like if they're not lollygagging, joking around, and just over an hour. What, like if you have a good manager delegating people, a little over an hour. It's not too hard. So yeah, the next one is please give Kasi Decangeralos's account so they can spawn themselves items. Wait, no. Hold on, how did that get there? I must have gotten hacked. Anyways, well, while I accidentally derailed, that was weird. That was my fault, but I'll give a quick shout out to Wait Rose, Subserver, and Ugnaski. You're a hecka cool bunch of realmers. Also, Daki Aki and their husband Flav. Daki Aki, that reminds me of that one song. It's like dosu desu dosu do dosu desu dosu do my ai 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 dun, dun, dun. Really good song, really exciting. But anyways, on to the next piece of intel. Just make sure I'm not logging off there. All right, next piece is chests, and I'm talking chests in the vault, not the updated chests recently occurred this Halloween event. So I won't bring that up. But so anyways, chests, like basically like when you look at a gift chests are usually overflowing with stuff from bundles, quests. It's honestly just a visual tangled mess as a whole. There could be a better means to accessing vault, gift chest, and seasonal chests by default, like a menu with different groups for different categories available to toggle via an option somewhere in the menu that allows for the sorted format or the original look that it currently has. So like someone would have the option to click on the upper right and they'd be able to be like, oh, okay, I want the new format, which is sorted and everything. Or I want the old format, which is just everything kind of lined up, spread out for you to scroll through. So, yeah, there's that. I think this will, like, honestly benefit the gift chests, given people have to, like, sit and scan through it. I mean, heaps and mounds of stuff within. So being able to see it from like a bird's eye view, quote unquote, will help players find what they need faster It's, I think, time for to clean up in the chess department, Deca. I think we should get to work on that. With all due respect, of course. Now this is a bit of a tricky one to bring up here. However, I think it needs to be addressed. Chat logs and bans. There has to be a better system with maintaining chat logs, which could also help avoid a common issue of in-game grief, which is chat abuse bans. This provides a way to grant evidence of why you're banning players from chatting, as well as a means to protect your own company in lawsuit situations. I'm crossing my fingers for you. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you. But if, you have a good system to collect and store data over a period of time, then I think, you'll be a little bit more solid on that foundation under your feet. I'm just saying, like, money's cool to think about, but you got to think legalities too. And sometimes you have to change up a product a little bit to conform to the legalities of everything. Like the plastic bag. It now has a sign on the plastic bag that says, "Keep out of reach of children. You can suffocate playing with this or eating it or something. Don't eat it." Right? So that's because it's a law. They can't sell it without that. So, but then there's also potentials that could happen if they don't. So yeah, anyways, you get the drift. I'll move on to actually one of the last two topics, which this is a big one, okay? If you weren't taking notes prior, start taking notes now, Deca, okay? Take notes now. This is the bread and butter of what I'm about to say. Okay? This is it. This is like the golden ticket right here. This is going to change everything. You're going to be like, wow, we've never seen such progress ever in our lives. So here it is. Here are some concepts for public testing. So a few key and notable things about the concept of currently doing a public test for a realm is if it's about testing out features or dungeons or new items, then an ample start should be provided to all who decide to spend their free time to join the testing servers. By an ample start, I mean by default, each player starts with a divine pet yard with separate pets available to choose from, ranging from common to mythic, which is in total, they'd have 5 pets in the pet yard. 1 would be common, 1 would be uncommon, 1 would be rare, 1 would be legendary, 1 would be mythic. They would all have the same combination of abilities that would be maxed out, whatever rarity it happens to be, and the abilities would always have heal and magic heal attached to it. Maybe the third ability can be random, however, heal and magic heal is crucial. Because if you want players to actually get through the boss and receive the loot and make sure the loot isn't bugged or everything else like that, you're going to want to make sure they can get through. Also, by default, there should be an option to level up stats in the player's vault that would replace the usual potion rack. You can level up 1 stat at a time or simply max it out with the press of a button. So there'd be a +1 and then there'd be a max. You can add a +5 if you want, I don't know, but +1 and max would be enough. I don't know about a subtract, but that would be way too specific. However, this also will help with statistical data received in your studies, as well as providing the opportunity for players to more specifically test out more various things with max efficiency in the testing realms that ultimately your team at Deca headquarters could use to improve the game. Because at some point or another, one of your members is going to hear about it. So it's only a benefit. Another default would have to be the public dungeon portal hall, where on a specific tile on a portal organized amongst other portals available for testers. Spawns and fades as usual, that's what the portal will do. But after 30 seconds or so, another spawns in where basically in its place. Then there, could be the same thing, but a private dungeon thing for players. So players have the option to go to like a public dungeon and try it out in a public dungeon, or they could go to a private dungeon and test it out in a private dungeon. You see what I'm saying? Like, you give the players the opportunity to have a single cell that has the availability of all the dungeons available, so that way they can go in and properly test. Because is it a testing server or is it a playing server? Is it a get a sneak peek of this thing server? Because, yeah, but again, this would provide more room for data received by you and the testers, allowing for a more broad range of test results to occur, which helps fix the potential problems now and not later. And finally, my last default for the testing realm stuff would have to be various items, untiered items like UTs and sets should be available for grabs for the testers within the Nexus that don't cost anything. I think the only thing that should cost anything in the testing realms should be the cloths. And the cloths should be buyable with fame, not gold. I mean, why not make this free? Because it allows for the tester to use something they've been earning over the course of testing towards something that doesn't get in the way of obtaining any form of statistical data, but also helps you stand out more. You could even do this with titles and possibly provide testers with rewards on their public server Realm account gift chests, depending on various circumstances they met in the testing server, and depending on how long they've been in there, etc. Just get creative, Deca. Get creative with that. But that's something you can do to pay back all these people that are testing out your game without being like, here's $20. All right, there's 800 more people to go to give $20 to you. It's like, no, instead it's like, here's a few UTs and all this stuff or whatnot. I wouldn't say, whoops, hold on, let me make sure I'm still recording. Okay. Now, I wouldn't say to like give it to the players, like everything, like give the players everything that they've earned over the course of testing, but I would have specific rewards that they can get and, you know, reach towards, achieve towards, and then those rewards that they earn and stuff would end up going to their main account on a public server inside their gift chest. So that way, you know, it's like, hey, here you go. You gave us info and helped us better our game for free. Well, here, let's give you something in return. This provides incentive to test. So, I guess the last thing I do want to leave you off on, Deca, is this. Try to lean away from microtransactions and more towards improving the game, making it more inviting and less of an investment. It's very insane that it takes years to get maxed Exalt, but like, I don't know, I feel like that's a little overkill because every player should be able to experience that level of endgame, but like, I don't know, I feel like it's a little overboard. You know, like, again, earlier I mentioned Exalts. Some of those dungeons take like 45 minutes. Other ones, you know, take a lot longer. Depending, again, it leans back into the whole, if you don't wait in queue, well, now it's going to take you even longer because now there's not very many people. You're more likely to get a group of like 4 people, and HP scaling could be so broken just because 4 people are in there that no one can out DPS the boss, damaging everyone. It just becomes this whole mess. So, you know, like, I don't mean it rude when I say make it less of an investment. I mean, like, try to make it new user friendly because there's a lot of veteran players. Yes, don't get me wrong, but there are a lot of new players. There's a whole like flip ton of new players that are entering this game, and they're seeing the level of grind ahead of them. And there's avid players who are like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to tell them the truth. And they tell them, they're like, hey, this is going to take you a long time. Are you sure you want to invest in this? And people are like, either yes, and they give up like 5% of the way, or some people just stick to nothing but that. But that's like really, really rare. But even then, getting maxed Exalt, like, here, I'll even go back to the game real quick, and let me click on the Exalts. So, Wizard alone, right? Wizard alone, I have to run, like, dude, it's so many at a time just to get a single Exalt. And the issue that everyone's having, just to better convey the feelings behind it, is that you would spend 5 minutes to get basically, like, I don't know, basically like an Exalt. Like, you would get 1 out of 5, 3 out of 5, 2 out of 5, 1 out of 5, or you would get like a ton of the credit of the Exalt taken care of out of the way in a single run. And so it was like, people were like, well, this is the time to get back in the game and farm. So all these people get back in the game and farm, and then Deca's like, oh, wait a minute, that's potential lost game time. So let's not do that. We have high numbers right now. And I'm not saying they actually did this. It's just, I should better quote, this is my perspective of what happened. There we go. So this is my perspective of what happened. Deca's like, oh shoot, this is like the most players we've had on our servers in a very, very, very long time. Why are they on the servers? Let's figure this out. They figure it out, and they're like, oh, that's too OP. That's too nice, because now we're giving them hundreds of our deserved hours. When it's like, I don't know. That's what I mean by, like, greedy, and that's what other people have been saying by greedy. It's like the feeling of like, dude, you had such a flippin' opportunity, and you just kind of shat on it. So, take this with a grain of salt, Deca, really. And I really genuinely hope that, you took notes. Because I really did mean that. Yeah, there were some bits in play here, right? But at the same time, I'm being completely serious. Like, this is the perspective of a lot of people that I'm conveying right now as well. Because this video was made in collaboration of a bunch of other realmers. I was asking in-game. I was asking out of game. That's all I'll say there. And yeah, no, that's it. So that's my thoughts, as well as other people's thoughts and opinions. So yeah, I'll go ahead and say that as a closer is, everything that I said is just my opinion. And these are just my thoughts on the matter. And this is why I wanted to make a video, was just talk about it. And, well, something gives me a hunch that a Deca employee or two are actually watching my other series or keeping up with some of my videos, so of Realm of the Mad God related. So I just thought, hey, I'm going to take the opportunity and make this. So, alrighty, everyone, as well as you, Deca, have a wonderful rest of your days. Make sure to go drink some water. Circulate the air in, your place of business or your private domicile, your home, your mountain, your cave, your temple. Circulating the air is great. Getting some sunlight is great for you. Some moonlight too. And if it's been a few weeks, you may want to brush your teeth. If it's been a few months, you may want to take a shower. If it's been a few years, you may want to eat some food. Alrighty, everyone, and Deca, have a wonderful rest of your days, and I will see you in the next part of the next video that I will be uploading, which is Anyone Can White Star, the next part for Warrior. So I'll see you there when we get there. So, alrighty. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I'll leave you on a high note.